So I'm going to start with number 14. Number 14 is asking us to find the distance and the midpoint. Here are the points, -4 and 3, 5 and -1. Now I do not memorize the distance formula at all. What I end up doing is I end up drawing these points. So if I draw the points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, that point goes there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and -1, that point goes there. And I'm going to make me a right triangle. I went 5 and 4, so this side is 9. I went 1 and 3, so this side is 4. All I have to do now is say 9 squared plus 4 squared equals what I'm looking for on the distance. So 81 plus 16 equals d squared, and I'm looking at d being the square root of that. So if I look at it, alright, we can also find the midpoint of these two. Remember, it's the average of the x's and the average of the y's. So the midpoint is 1/2 and 1. Let's see, I have a center right here, HK, and a radius. Can I write the equation of a circle? You bet I can. It's x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So we end up with x minus 5 squared plus y plus 3 squared equals 16. In problem 19, you have this equation and they want to know what the center is. It's always the opposite of what's in here. So it's going to be -5, -4, and the square root of 9, which is 3. Okay, in problem 23, we have a midpoint and we have the two endpoints, and we need to find A and B. And remember, we're just going to work backwards. So if we're taking the averages of the x's, that's -1 plus a divided by 2, and it's going to equal 3. We take and solve for a. We end up multiplying this side by 2 and this side by 2. So now we have a equals 7. The averages of the y's, b plus 1 divided by 2, it's going to equal 5. Then we solve for b, and it's 9. So our end point is 7 and 9. And if you took these two and found the midpoint, you should end up with this. Problem 24 comes right from Algebra 1. We have 2 points, and we want to find the slope. And so you know you find the change in y over the change in x. You do the math, and you get -3/5. In problem 28, what we have is 2 points. And we need to find the equation of the line, which you always need to find the slope first. And I put it in the point slope form, and then solve for y and get it to be y equals 3/2 x minus 2. In problem 31, this is where we have a point and a line parallel. So in this point in the line parallel, what we want to do is find out what the slope is of the parallel line, and it happens to be -2/5. I don't care about this b, I just need this slope. Now I have this point. So I'm going to plug into the point slope formula and get that y equals -2/5 x minus 11/5. In number 31, we're going to use the same equation, same point, but now we're looking for a perpendicular line. So from the previous problem, -2/5 was our slope. The perpendicular line is the opposite reciprocal. And now what we're going to do is plug in y plus 3 equals 5/2 x minus 2 and solve for y. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear my list. So I have to first push the stat button, and this shows up. I go to number 4. Stat, clear, list 1, comma, list 2, comma, list 3, comma, list 4, comma, list 5. I think that might clear all of it. So now what I'm going to do is hit enter. It tells me it's done. I hit stat, edit. So now I look and I have all my lists clear. And what I need to do is put in the data from lesson 30 or from number 33. And I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. That represents 1991 to 2001. Now I'm going to enter the math scores. 500, 501. You need to make sure that you enter them correctly, otherwise it will skew your data. And you'll say, I didn't get what you got. So enter each one, check it, put them with the right year, otherwise you'll have an issue as well. And now I have that. Now I've got everything in here. I need to go to second stat plot. I need to turn it on. I need to go to the scatter plot. Notice it says list 1. Mine happens to say list 4, so I need to change it to list 2. And now I'm going to hit zoom, and I'm going to hit 9. There is my scatter plot. To draw it on a piece of paper, I need to actually label everything. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to label my axes. This is the year. These are the SAT math scores. I need to state 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this would represent 1991, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1995, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2000. I need to title this as the average SAT math scores. And because my scores don't start at 0, I need to put a little jog and go 500. And I could do 505, I could do 510, I could do 515, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And what I could do is just hit trace. And the first one tells me that I'm going to be here. The second one tells me I'm going to be just a tad ahead of it. And that's how I'm going to do it. And it's going to actually look like this. That's how I would copy it. So now I've got my scatter plot all drawn. Part B is telling me that I need to use the data. So from 500, 1991, and 2001, which is 11, and 514, and I need to find the slope, and I need to find the equation of the line. So I end up with 14 over 10, which is 1.4. Y minus 500, 1.4, x minus 1, and I can write it just like this into my calculator so that I don't have any mistakes. And we're going to superimpose that. So y, and I'm going to put 1.4, and I'm going to write x minus 1 plus 500. That's what this equation was. And I'm going to now hit graph, and you'll notice that it gets superimposed. It doesn't hit everywhere, and if I'm going to sketch that here, it kind of goes like that. So there is my superimposed. Part C says estimate it now in 2004. Well, let's look at part C. If I look at part C, 2004 means X is 14 years. So what I want to do is find out what Y equals when X is 14 years. Now I could plug it into the equation and plug and chug, or I can go right to my table and look at when X is 14 years and find that my estimated SAT score will be 518.2. So Y equals 518.2. And I got this from the table. That's how you do these problems.